Hi, I'm Vanessa, a Get Set Up Guide, and today we're going to be making a low-carb, keto-friendly Tuscan chicken in an Instant Pot. Be sure to jump into the chat with your thoughts and provide feedback. All right, so we're going to start making this keto-friendly Tuscan chicken. So we're going to season some chicken cutlets. This is about a pound that we have here. I'm going to just lightly season this with some salt and pepper on both sides. And we've got our Instapot on the saute function. So we've let that preheat for like 5 minutes before we actually started this recipe. So let's flip this over. Going to add my other salt and pepper on here. You always want to go high with your seasonings just so you can evenly coat your chicken. And so now that we have this preheated, I'm going to add some extra virgin olive oil to our Instapot, a couple of tablespoons. So this has a nice wide surface area, and it's kind of like a non-stick surface already with these type of, these pots here. So I'm going to add it to our pan. And what's great about the Instapot is that everything is done inside of this. So this is like your cooking mechanism. Okay. And so we're going to let this go for 5 minutes before we actually flip this over. Okay. So this is cooked on one side for 5 minutes, and you want to make sure that you do the 5 minutes in order for it not to stick. So it should easily release itself. And you can see this has got a nice brown color on that. And that's going to give the flavor for this dish. So you just go ahead and flip it. And this is going to cook for an additional, 5 minutes. So it's going to depend on how thick or thin your cutlets are. So I'm going to go for about another 5 minutes to get this cooked. All right, so we've finished searing our chicken. And I'm going to put them into a bowl and set this aside. And you can see we got all the browning on the bottom of this pan. So that's a lot of flavor that's going to be added to this. Okay. So now I'm going to add in my minced garlic. And we're going to add in a half a teaspoon of dried thyme. You could use fresh thyme also if you have it on hand, a couple of sprigs of that. But we're going to use just your dried thyme. And then for a little bit of spice, we're going to add a little crushed red pepper. It's about a half a teaspoon of that. It's going to be added. If you don't like it too spicy, maybe you can reduce it down. And you're going to just give this a stir. And you want to kind of try to pick up those little bits of brownness at the bottom just to scrape it back into our dish here. Okay. So you don't have to let this go for too long, because we don't want that garlic to burn, but I'm just taking my wooden spoon. You want to make sure you use a wooden spoon so we're not scraping up that non-stick surface. Okay. Well, that's good enough. Now, this is called deglazing it. So this is going to lift the brown bits off of here. So we're going to add our half a cup of chicken broth to this. And we're just going to kind of scrape those bits there again. Just so that we have that all incorporated. So all that flavor is going to go right back into this. And then I'm going to add in a half a cup of heavy whipping cream. That's going to also go in here. Let's make sure I got that there. Okay, perfect. And that's going to go in here. And I'm just going to scrape this again. And then we're going to add our other key ingredient to make this yummy. We're going to use our sun-dried tomatoes that's been packed in olive oil. And we kind of drained it a little bit before we added this to it. And I'm just scraping this again. All right. And then we're gonna let this cook again for another, let's see. All right, so I'm gonna put the lid back on here. And we're gonna let this cook for another 8 minutes to reduce down for us. Okay, so you wanna bring your mixture to a simmer, and the seared chicken we're gonna add back to our pot to cook in there. So I'm gonna add my chicken back to it. Oops. And we're gonna just add this to it. Actually, I'm gonna put all that flavor back in there. I'm gonna just kind of take my spoon and kind of ladle that cream sauce over it. And now that we've got this to like a light simmer, now we can put our lid back on here and let this cook for 8 minutes. So this is our finished Tuscan chicken. As you can see, everything is kind of reduced down. It's nice and creamy. The flavors have really come together. And so I'm going to serve this with rice. So if you want to make this more keto friendly, you can do something like cauliflower rice, which would work perfectly fine to keep it keto friendly. So I'm just going to put a piece of chicken here. And I'm going to put some of the sauce over the chicken and a little bit over the rice. That looks really good. If you want to kind of garnish it with a little bit of parsley, I'll do that right now. You can put a little bit of basil in there if you wanted to. You know what? I might just hit this with a little bit of fresh scallion just to kind of give this a little pop. And there you have it, a delicious Tuscan chicken, keto-friendly, made with cauliflower rice if you want to, but that's pretty much what you can make at home very, very easily. So thanks for attending this class. Be sure to check out our other sessions that are here with other Get Set Up guides as myself also. Thank you for attending, and I'll see you again soon.